I've never seen that bright before. Okay, we don't have palm trees in North Carolina. That's right, we're no longer in North Carolina. We have moved once again. We are now in Lake Placid, Florida. We no longer have our huge workshop we have. We just have a single car garage. We got a carport and that little storage building out there. So it's been 4 months since I did my last YouTube update video. So anyway, that's our little storage building. And here's the carport cruise, the Hoverstar carport cruiser. Boy, I worked on that thing for so many years. All my videos, I think carport cruiser. Anyway, here's my Hoverstar. Notice we have the engine out of it. The drive frame that you saw in the last video has gone through several modifications and is completed now. We made belt adjusters. You can see the belt adjusters there. The belt's tracking like it's supposed to, fans doing like it's supposed to. We added an aluminum brace there to reinforce it and some brackets here for some braces to come downward. And we're going to have some exciting news in this new video. But first, we're going to show you what we've got now. We've got a new play toy. As you remember, in North Carolina videos, you used to see the helicopter in the corner of the shop. Well, we no longer have the helicopter. We were able to sell the helicopter, and instead, we've now got a CNC milling machine. Now, that said, I don't know how to operate it yet. I've been able to do manual machining with it, you know, using what they call the jog control. But I haven't learned how to actually do the regular machining with it. We're running the Mach 3 software. So there's the Mach 3 software that came with the system. But as you can see, it works. It's a CNC machine. So once I learn how to program this puppy, we should be able to do some exciting things. Also, I picked up an indexable rotary table. So now we can actually learn how to cut gears. That's something else I'll have to learn to play with. But found that on Temu, believe it or not. It's made by Vivor. And it's a indexable rotary table. We got all the rotary discs for it. And we still have the old 3-in-1 milling machine here. And just a couple of days ago, we scored the 1,000-pound lift Harbor Freight hydraulic lift table, which raises up and down. So you can see it raises up and down here. The foot pedal. So this gives us a nice table. That needs some oiling, I believe, but anyway, you can see that that raises up and down nicely and lifts up 1,000 pounds. So that puts things at a nice working height. So with our small garage, we now have something we can actually work on the engine. So anyway, the reason the engine is out is you will see in later on the video, we got some really exciting news. But before putting this engine in permanently, I needed to take the plate back off and put Loctite on all the bolts and nuts, because definitely didn't want this thing to fly apart going across the water. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. So we got all these nuts and bolts and everything tightened down. Our flex coupler's operating good. Engine mounts are good and solid now. Modified the throttle cable and made a bracket to hold the throttle cable. So because the original throttle cable thing we had was just a little angled piece of steel that, a little angle bracket we bent, and it wasn't as solid as I wanted, so I made that little bracket there on the CNC machine. So that's our first actual piece we've machined on the CNC machine. We're just using the jog controller to operate it. So anyway, this is where we're at now. We are in a town called Lake Placid, Florida. We are in South Florida. It's not going to get cold here, folks. It's a little chilly today. It's actually 61 degrees, but that beats the heck out of the 30s and 40s and 20s in North Carolina, so we'll take it. So anyway, like I say, we got a smaller shop now, but we're making things work. And shortly in the rest of the video, you're going to see something really, really cool. So keep watching. And I think you'll be highly surprised. Okay, so what I'm doing now is making a bracket, little L bracket that's going to go over the bolt for the bearings to where I can take and adjust the belt tension. That should make us a nice bracket to hold the belt tension with. Alrighty, so here's how we're making the belt tensioner here. You can see it's a piece of threaded bolt, bolt threaded all the way down, and that's going to slip over the bolt that holds our drive bearing in place. Basically, our belt tensioner is going to look pretty much like this, and that's what's going to tension our belt. Hey y'all, this is what I got done today. I made belt tensioner for the drive belt, where it'll be able to push down to adjust the belt tension. So anyway, that's what I got. I got to put a bolt through there. I got to drill and put a bolt through there, and then the belt tension will be finished. My biggest issue has been the drive frame assembly, and today our neighbor that's across the street welded my drive frame for me. It turns out my neighbor across the street knows how to weld, but he didn't have a welder, which that wasn't too big a problem because we had a brand new welder that I just don't know how to use. So I took the welder over to his shop, and he got my drive frame welded. So thank you, Bob, for getting the drive frame welded for us. So now what I got to do is I need to finish getting this system set up. You saw I had a bearing clamp to hold that. Well, what the plan is, I still got to mill this out more, but you can see how I rounded that area there, and what I'm going to do is bolt that bracket there to give it some more reinforcement. Okay y'all, well here's where we're at. I've got my adjusters made up and I got the belt on there, but what my issue is now that this is actually straight and reinforced where it's not flopping downward, I'm going to have to redo the holes that the shaft goes through, because as you can tell it's not level and it's got a lot of force on it. I'm gonna have to take and open up the bearing hole so the bearing can actually raise up some more, and then I'll be able to actually adjust it, because right now when I put the tension on it, so you can see the belt's almost too tight right now. I mean, it's pretty tight, and that's with this already loosened up. And so what's happening, it's not letting me level the shaft to adjust it with my adjusters, because my hole for the shaft through the tube itself is blocking it from raising up anymore. We have made progress. As you can see, we've got an electric drill hooked up to the end of our drive shaft. I would say we finally have the belt tracking on the pulley right. Notice it has stayed centered. All I gotta do is tighten all the bolts down, and I think we're good. I redid the brackets here, made some brackets out of steel, and I've got it adjusted. The bolts are tightened down, and I've spun it with the drill, and the belt is staying, well, it's staying on the pulley just by a little bit, but it's not, at least it's not driving off the end, so that's all that really matters. Everything's staying lined up on the bottom pulley good. No problems there. So I think all I got to do now is rebalance my fan and put the fan on, and we'll be ready to put the drive pulley on this thing and get this thing into the hovercraft. Okay, Merlin here. I'm gonna spin the engine over a few times without the fuel turned on, just to make sure the fan doesn't hit or anything. And if everything spins over clear, we'll turn the fuel on and see if it'll start. So here we go. This is the first test with the new drive frame with the fan actually installed. Everything's spinning over. Let's see if it's going to run. making noise in there. Okay, we're going to just see if this thing will actually lift any. This is the moment of truth. We got something rattling, but I think it should run long enough to see if it's going to lift. We'll find out. we have a flying hovercraft again. I gotta figure out what's doing the rattling noise. Something was hitting. I think it's just a fan blade. Might be hitting with splitter. And I think I need to move my battery to the front because it's way too heavy in the back. But hey, she's flying. Oh man, that was freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Merlin here. Well, yesterday you saw the video of the hovercraft flying across the yard. We kept hearing a rattling noise. We weren't too sure what it was. We couldn't see anything. The fan wasn't hitting it at first, but apparently the rivets must have come out through where I had this here. And as you can see, it chunked out a chunk of the fiberglass right here. You can see it chunked that out, so I'm gonna have to repair that. But you can see right here where that's cut. When I got this hovercraft, some idiot had cut out that much of the thrust duct, because I guess they were trying to make a different drive for the engine to sit back in there and stuff. But anyway, they'd cut out that whole section of the duct. So I tried to put it some like a nylon board type stuff, but apparently the rivets just didn't hold in good with that. So what I got to do now is I got to take my drive out, cut this area out that's chunked out, and repair that area. So that's my next project, because as you can see the fans hitting there, and I think I need to readjust the angle here, get this lined up better somehow, because you can see I got good clearance at the top. I got good clearance on the sides, so I don't want to go trimming the fan down more. I just got to figure out what dropped down, and the only thing I can figure a difference is I made a spacer there, and that spacer might be putting it too far, you know, might be tilting it at an angle too much. And then I'd made this where I could adjust this shaft here, and I think I need to move it more forward, and that'll pull the fan out of the duct a little bit more and should give us just a little bit more clearance. So anyway, that's where we're at. You can see I've got the engine pull boost. I've got it set up where I can pull the engine out of the thing real easily. So I just pulled it out enough where I can get this taken care of. And since I know everything's going to work now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fiberglass stuff and fill down inside that area there where I had to chop it out to make the engine mount things down there, and put some more fiberglass in here so we'll hold that all down. Since I know everything is actually going to work, it's just a matter of tweaking it now. So that's our next plan. And then I'm going to take that little plate there off that I made, and I'm going to hollow the hull out of the fiberglass kind of like I did this, so I can actually drop my fuel tank down into the hull a little lower, so I can put the seat back to the original height seat that it had. Because if I don't, I'll have a seat sitting way too high. So anyway, that's what the BMW engine looks like when it's not bolted in. And you can see the drive coupler and the adapter plate and everything that's set up on it. So that's where we're at. I'll keep you posted. And maybe we'll make the hover in with this thing. I think we're getting pretty close. Still got some bugs to work out, but I think they're kind of minor at this point. So who knows, maybe we'll see y'all at the Central Florida cruise with this thing. If the hovercraft's not ready, we'll still be there with the cameras to make videos and take lots of pictures and stuff. But I'm thinking there could be a good possibility we might just make the Central Florida cruise. Keeping our fingers crossed. Stay tuned. This is Merlin. I'm out.